Well, hello everybody. It's 2:30, so let's get started. Voor de Nederlandse studenten, en volgens mij zijn jullie dat over het algemeen. Welkom bij de voorlichting van Creative Media en Game Technologies. Als het goed is, hebben jullie al wat informatie over de opleiding gezien. Misschien het filmpje bekeken. En ik wil graag dit moment gebruiken om vragen te beantwoorden. Ik ga het echter wel in het Engels doen. Want onze opleiding is een Engelse opleiding, internationale opleiding. Dat maakt het zelf ook leuk, vind ik eerlijk gezegd. Maar om daar een klein beetje aan te kunnen wennen, ga ik deze sessie dus ook in het Engels doen. Ik ben niet alleen, ik ben ook met een student. Her name is Valeria. I think she can share her screen also. Yeah, she's there. The audio is here.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, that's hello. So I'm Mark Boedichter. I teach at Creative Media and Game Technologies. I teach in the experience design track. I will explain that a little bit later on. And Valeria, maybe you can introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Valeria. I'm a first-year student at Saxion at Creative Media and Game Technologies, and I chose the role of artist.
Okay, thank you. Of course, this is a bit of a weird situation. We have to do this online. Normally, we would be in Enschede. Everybody would be in the building, would have free coffee, and would enjoy the work of our students, talking to students, talking to teachers, asking questions over there. But yeah, everybody's in the same boat, so we got to switch to online. We're not only doing the open days online, our entire program is now online. We teach from home, we give lectures online, we try to teach labs online, and now even doing projects online. So it's a bit exciting, but I think it's working out for most of its parts. And so yeah, let's see how this works out. First, Mariana, I will ask. I want to do first. I see a question already popping up. I want to do a really short introduction for 5 minutes, and then I'm going to do the Q&A. First, I have a poll to see if everything works. Let's say you can take only one thing to a deserted island. What do you choose? Is it games? Is it movies? Or is it music? Pick one. Everybody's pretty quick at responding. I'll make my own music. Yeah, you can of course you can sing and use some coconuts to drum. What about you, Valeria? What would you choose?
I would probably choose movies because some games might require internet, and I'm sure there won't be internet, so I'll just watch movies all day.
For me, it's a hard one. Games or movies? I will pick movies just to even it out. Okay, so the interactive part works. Thank you all. Now I would like to share my screen for a really short introduction. So there we go. So yeah, welcome to Creative Media and Game Technologies. I will skip this part. It's more of an interactive session for the real open days. But this is important because what we focus on a lot is actually creating a mix of realities, creating a mix of online and offline. We think that virtual and augmented reality and those kind of techniques are going to change actually not only the way we are consuming entertainment, but also actually the entire world around us. So everything you see on this page is actually created with game technologies. So the word game is not only up to games in our program, but it's about game technologies and game thinking. And really, we really believe that creative media and game technologies will change actually a lot of industries. So you see education, you see a girl learning about the human body with the HoloLens. You see a surgeon, you see a weather guy using augmented reality, you see an architect, you see visual effects in movies. So it's much broader than only games. This is a show reel. I won't show you this one. You can find it on our YouTube channel. If you search on YouTube for Saxion CMGT, you will find it. Really short. Why do I think, or we think actually, that our course is fun to choose? Because of these 3 reasons. The first one is actually about choosing your destiny. You can actually choose your own path within our course. I will explain that later on. You can also work on a lot of applied projects. Of course, you create games and movies also for fun and because you want to tell a story. But we also work with a lot of companies and organizations to create something that can solve a real-world problem. For the United Nations, for instance, or also for the Dutch Marine, we created a 3D model of a marine ship so that their employees can train in virtual reality. So stuff like that. And yeah, you can benefit from an internationally focused program. So you won't be in a class with only people from Almelo and Hengelo or Arnhem. No, you will be in a class with also people from Bulgaria or Romania or Italy, Jamaica. It's all over the world, and I think that's pretty fun. Yeah, you can choose your own path. It means you can choose your own track. You can choose one of these 3 roles. These 3 roles are actually the core of every interactive project out there, whether it's a game or whether it's an interactive story or also in movie technology nowadays. You need artists, you need experienced designers, and you need engineers. You can see they also overlap because they really have to do projects together with each other. So you have to know what the other role is actually up to and what it means to work in such a role. And you need each other to create magic. If you're a little bit into gaming, we call this our Triforce, so to say. So what are subjects belonging to those tracks? For artists, it's, for instance, imagery. Every big production still starts on paper, you know, drawing a story, drawing characters, drawing interfaces, stuff like that. Sound design, 3D modeling, cinematics is how you use a camera. For designer, we try to teach you in creative thinking, design thinking, also on game design and gamification, user interface design, behaviorism, there's a lot of psychology involved. For engineering subjects, yeah, it's about programming, of course. It's about physics, algorithms, web technology, also Unity scripting. We use Unity a lot, but it's just a tool. So we try to teach you how to understand programming and coding. Then in year 2, really quickly, you will focus more on your role. You will create your portfolio. That's really important in our industry. And in year 3, you will do a minor internship. And in year 4, graduation. That's nothing special. Some highlights. Again, you can find these on our YouTube channel. I can really suggest going there and subscribing. Some other highlights. We try to do masterclasses for our students. We host, every year we host a series of masterclasses with Julian Fuddy. He's actually supervisor of a lot of the Star Wars films and Spider-Man movies. So he tries to teach our students on visual effects in movies because they also use game technologies in there. We have a lot of different projects. If you and a team can convince us that you really want to do a project or really want to do a game or an interactive story or whatever, you can try to convince us, and you can do that in your minor. We also do we also gamify our course a lot. So we have award shows with different awards for students and project teams. So we try to make it as fun as possible. So then you're graduated, and what can you do? Yeah, you can do a lot. Like I said, right now because you're working with such new technology. But some current day examples are these are LinkedIn screenshots. For instance, Martin, he's a game developer at a game studio. Bastiaan is a VR developer at a serious VR training simulation studio. Bianca is project manager at a digital agency, and Tim is a user experience expert at a healthcare company. So you see, it's pretty broad. I can also suggest that you have a pretty broad mindset when you enter the course, and then make it your own. If you want to look at a company in our industry, I think Media Monks is a really good example. It's the biggest production company in the Netherlands. They experiment a lot with a lot of different techniques and technologies and creative media. I think it's a pretty cool company to have a look at. So yeah, why choose this program? I think because of its broad orientation, you can explore what you like, whether it's artist, experience, or engineering. Then you can choose one of those, so you can choose your own path. You can work on applied projects, so you can help to solve real problems in the real world for real companies. And we have an international focus. So that's actually the general part. So let's see, there already are some. I would want to stop sharing my screen. Yes, there we go. Let's go back to questions. So yeah, this is the Q&A part. Let's see. We can get over here. Hello, are there, Mariana is asking, are there a lot of individual projects or a lot of group projects? Also, how are the groups made? Maybe Valeria, maybe you would like to answer that one.
Yes, every term we have 5 projects, and only 1 or 2 of them are group projects, the rest is individual. And so far we could choose our own team, but in the third term the teachers made the teams themselves. They choose who is going to work. And from my experience, I really enjoyed working in groups. You learn a lot from your classmates, and it's really fun to work together.
Yeah. So sometimes we decide the teams, and sometimes the students can decide the teams. Both has its pros and its cons. But as a general question, yeah, there are a lot of group projects because this is a team working industry.
Yeah.
Luca, do you have to be good in like drawing, or do you learn those things on the way? Yeah, I think that's also one.
Yeah.
Also one. Yeah.
It's always good to have at least some experience in drawing, but of course you learn a lot on your way. Like I've met artists who, like me for example as well, I didn't have any experience in drawing digitally, and I can really see a big growth since the start of it. So don't worry about it, and you can practice now until you start, and everything will be just fine because you'll learn a lot on your way. So
yeah, I agree. And we also have different tracks. So as a programmer, I think it's good to know about drawing and about drawing theory, but you don't really have to be good at it. An experienced designer is mostly a bit technical and a bit creative. And they are mostly focusing on the concept. And for artists, of course it can help that you're pretty good at drawing. But as Valeria says, you will learn it along the way. They often say that you don't have a big job opportunity with this study. What do you think about that? I don't agree because I see our students getting jobs pretty quickly after they graduate. Also, even during their course at the graduation company or internship company, for instance, because the world is becoming digital really fast. And like I said, we work in a digital field with creative media and game technologies. If you only focus on the game industry, purely game industry, then it sometimes can be pretty hard to get into that. Of course, you also have a growing number of mobile games and mobile studios and indie studios that can have a really nice public, that invests in that or is playing their games. So of course it's possible, but that is a bit harder to get into. Especially if you are something like a concept artist, sometimes it can be really hard. You have to be really top notch to get into as a concept artist into the industry. But if you look at yourself as a creative person, as a creative professional, actually, there are so many opportunities because a lot of companies need creative, smart, technical people that can use gamification, that can use game thinking, that can do storytelling, that can program, that can do everything like that. So I think there's a lot of opportunities. Nikita, I'm not really social and I'm bad at working together. What does make the course more difficult? What do you think, Valeria?
Well, communication is the key to a good group project, but from my experience, I know pretty close people that don't like working in groups, but unless they do their part in the group, nobody complains about this because we respect your choice. Maybe you're more introverted, so until you do your job and have an input in the group work, everything will be fine. And I'm sure you'll get pretty comfortable in this group because everyone here is very friendly and welcoming.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, for you, Nikita, maybe it would be really nice to meet the students at our course, because you see, we also have different types. Sometimes students are really introvert, sometimes students are really extrovert. So there's a lot of different people here, which makes it nice. Mariana asked about the job opportunity. I hope I answered that with my previous answer. Is this study at Saxion more focused on indie games or AAA? Nick asks. I would not say we are not focused on either, actually. But if I have to choose, I would say we focus on indie games more. If you really want to focus on AAA titles, I would suggest to visit the CMGT study in Breda, because they only focus on the gaming industry and on AAA. And we focus on, like I said, creative media and game technologies as a whole. And yeah, indie games is a part of that. But also is interactive storytelling, also is special effects in movies. So, and you can choose your own specialization during the years. But yeah, we are much broader. We can also create, like I said, we create 3D virtual marine ships. So that's really applied game technologies. And there's a lot of artistry and a lot of creativity involved. But it has a really, yeah, it has a different goal than just gaming only. Lisanna asks, what are the exams like? What do you think, Valeria?
Most of the exams are in form of an assessment that you have to upload on Blackboard. For example, like personal project research and personal project presentation is about completing a journal and writing a white paper that you just upload online. And we had, for programming, we had an actual exam that we had to attend. It was on computers. It was in processing. You'll learn about it in the first term. And imagery, for example, it was just making a self-portrait and justification for that, but you also have to upload online. And yeah, most of it, it's like also the group projects, you have to have a final presentation that is graded as an exam. So it's mostly, everything is practical and in a form of an assessment or presentation mostly.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have a lot of tests. We have some tests, but not a lot. Do you have math? Well, if you want to become a programmer, yeah, there is math involved. Yes. Camille, how many school days are there in a week? Yeah, of course, it differs a little bit per week. Mostly you have one day that is not scheduled at Saxion, and the other days are scheduled, but it depends a little bit on the courses that you have during that time. So I would say there are 4 school days in a week. Are there certain skills required Marnix arts to be allowed a place in the study? Yeah, maybe it's good I tell a little bit about that, and that Valeria can explain. That means every student who wants to get into the program needs to do a small assignment. In this case, you need to create a game. And you need to do something creative. You need to think of a concept, and you need to design something. So you need to sketch or digitally draw something, or Photoshop or whatever. And then you need to make something work. So you need to show, okay, I made something that you can play. So you need to, yeah, show some effort in those three aspects. You send that in together with maybe other work that you created, or if you have a portfolio or something. Then we will have an interview, a short interview with the teacher, and we will, yeah, discuss actually, yeah, what are your thoughts behind the game? What are your thoughts about the course? Your motivation? Because we really want to make sure that you choose the right course. And what we really look at is not maybe skills, but it's more about motivation. Because liking games or liking movies is really different than creating them. So we really want to make sure that you enjoy the process of creation. When you get through, you will be in a class with people that, yeah, really enjoy that process, that are motivated. So yeah, that's nice. Maybe you, Valeria, can add a little bit onto that.
Should I say about the assessment we had to send in to be accepted?
Yeah.
So besides the portfolio and the certificate of the high school, we had a small assessment where we had to create a game. We were free to use any engine we wanted or had any experience in. And in case we didn't have, we just, for example, I used Scratch. I can also leave a link there. I just watched tutorials and it was pretty easy to use. Because I don't have any engineering experience, of course. And as I mentioned before, I didn't have also any digital art experience. So what I did, I just drew traditionally and I scanned everything. We had to choose between Arctic, jungle, and a maze as a theme of game. And I just made a maze as a background. It was like a cave. And we had to draw like 3 characters, who were in my case explorers, and through Scratch I just input everything I had, and I also put like collectibles, rewards, and the goal of the game. And in the interview I had to screen share my project and show to the interview teacher. And yeah, as Mark said, it's about the motivation, because as you can imagine, it wasn't really great for me because it was my first project I did by myself, but still he really appreciated I tried, and the concept of the game was pretty fun, so I was actually pretty happy with the result of it.
Yeah. Okay. Mariana asked, no, Lisanne, do you need a lot of experience in playing games? No, I don't think so. Of course it can help to understand certain theory, or to understand certain examples given during lectures, or to connect to other students. But no, it's not like, no, you need a lot of experience. Did you need math in high school to get in? It helps. It helps a lot. I'm not sure if it's mandatory right now. That changes every year. But I can really advise to have math in high school. So even for the artists, of course, there's creativity involved. You also have some technical aspects. Is this a good education to learn VFX? Ruben asks. I hope so. During the first year, you will touch a little bit of everything. And in the second year, you will go more in depth. And in the third year, in the fourth year, you can choose your own learning path. So yeah, we have a lot of experience in that. A lot of teachers that can help you with that. So I would hope so. Does coding play a big part in this study? Jeroen asks. Yes, I think especially it depends a little bit on the course or the track that you're going to choose, whether it's artist, engineering, or experience design. Of course, for the engineering line, it is the biggest part, but also for the experience design and the artists, yeah, sometimes you need to script or code something. At what time do you have classes, Valeria? What time do you have classes?
It differs, but the first class I think it's like at 8:15, but usually my classes start at 9:15, and the latest one is until 6. If that's an answer.
Yeah, it's different every day, right?
Yeah, it's different.
During the intake, to what will be paid most attention? It's your motivation, like we said. And we also are going to look at, because we give you only just this minimal amount of information, you need to invest some time in it, and also need to look up some information yourself. So we're going to see, okay, how independent are you? Are you willing to overcome some hurdles? So that's really what we're going to look at. Wouter, if I didn't have math in my last study, software, does that matter if I want to choose the role engineer? No, I think what you're addressing over here, if it's that course, I think it's a pretty good step up to this course. What are the internships like? Julia asks. Well, yeah, Valeria, you haven't been on an internship yet, so I think I can answer that. It's yeah, you have to find out a company yourself, whether it's a game company or a VR company or a design company or a movie company. You have to find a company that fits you, that fits your own goals. And then you have to apply over there. You will be there for 5 months, and you will be guided by us, but also by the company. So yeah, it's really about learning in practice. You can choose to go abroad. You can also choose to do it in the Netherlands. We have a wide range of companies, also in the rest of the world. Is there a particular thing I should pay attention to while creating my intake assessment? Laurie asks.
I think important is to include rewards, the goal of a game, and while you play, the game itself has to tell its story, like to be clear what environment is it, who are the characters. And for example, because I made a maze, I had to be sure I programmed this in that way that the character doesn't go through the wall of a maze. And also I included a timer that was really appreciated by the teacher. So like just the gaming parts.
Yeah.
And also I used points to see, to get how much I gave her.
Yeah. Nick asks, is the program direction reasonably equal to HBO ICT? I think there's some overlapping. Like I said, we try to teach you also how coding works, so object-oriented coding, stuff like that. So, and there, of course, there is a big overlap with HBO ICT. The tools you're using can differ, however. I think, of course, we also work with web technology, but we also work with game engines like Unity, Unreal, stuff like that. So the tool itself can be a little bit different. What I hear from a lot of students that are in our engineering track is that, okay, they think like with this engineering track, I can code whatever I want when I'm done. But the course is much more fun than doing HBO ICT only. So you learn the same things, but yeah, they say that our course is more fun. What are suitable minors for the study? It's same Nick, I think. Yeah, it really depends on your track, and also really depends on you as a person. You can choose an in-depth minor. For instance, if you want to do the visual effects minor, we have visual effects. We have, but we also have minor immersive media. So those are really in-depth minors where you work with a lot of new technologies and experiment a lot. But you can also choose to do something really to do something else in psychology or whatever. That's totally up to you. Marianne is asking a question if you can continue. I think we can continue for a while.
I have a question from Laurie.
Yeah.
As an artist, how do you experience the programming part within the course? Can you give an example of a general programming assignment? So as an artist, I only had programming in the first term. It was in processing. Processing is something I've never worked before in, and it's with the Java language, and I think everyone didn't know about this, so everyone was new to it. maybe some engineers only knew about it. So I did pretty well. They guided us and taught us from scratch. So of course I couldn't say I really enjoyed it, but I'm just glad I passed. And but it's actually a really nice experience, because this way you get to know the side of engineering. And while we worked in groups, we used processing for some projects, and somehow it helped me like realize how I should animate or draw something so it's more comfortable for the engineer, just because I had this processing in the first term. So by experiencing everything, like having something related to designing, artists, and programming in the first term helped me work better in groups later on, because it's like I put myself in the shoes of the engineer and the designer. So if that's a question, an answer.
Nick asks, if you choose the programming direction, which design program should you be able to do? Not sure if I understand the question correctly. If you choose programming, are there still any additional design programs that you should do? Is that what you want to ask, Nick? Maybe you can. Okay, yeah, we work with for instance, 3D modeling. It's Maya. We work with, of course, the Adobe Creative Suite. Those are more the design programs that you could use, or After Effects for animations. So yeah, but yeah, it really, if you really go into programming, there's not a lot of design that you have to do. Wouter asks, if I think about sound design, do I think about making music, or am I more thinking about making, for example, a sound effect for opening a door? It's both, actually. What is the process of being allowed to study right now? Yeah, you need to apply, and then there still will be an intake. It's the same as last year, actually, as every year. So what that means, if we can have a live conversation at school, I don't think so. I think everything is going to be online right now. So also the interview that we were going to have is going to be digital. Camille, do I understand well that admission requirements assessments apply? I do not really understand what you're trying to say. Yeah, you need to do the intake. That's what you really need to do. Yeah, Valeria, can you choose your own location for an internship, even if it's for Inval in Utrecht? Yes, you can. Like I said, it can even be in South Africa or in the North Pole, if there's a good company. I live near Zutphen. Are there a lot of students who do not live in Enschede but travel daily to Enschede? Yes, there are.
Mostly Dutch students who live like nearby. They prefer to travel by train instead of renting some place here. Mm-hmm. So I know a lot of people who live outside of Enschede.
Yeah. Bjorn asks, will the engineering program give you enough knowledge about the artistic side to create your own project entirely? That's a little bit up to you as a person. Of course, you will work as a team in projects. So also engineers are working with experienced designers and artists. So you will learn a lot from each other. And also in the beginning, you will also get some artist courses. But if you really focus on engineering, you can only focus on that. So it's a little bit up to you. Of course, the other courses are open for you to check out. So everything is open. You can follow all the classes. You can find everything also online. So yeah, it's possible. But it's like I said, it's up to you. Do you have to pay for expensive software like After Effects yourself? Yes. You have to pay for licenses yourself. We have student discounts for that, and I also have to say, as a counter argument, we do not have a lot of books that you have to pay. So yeah, it's a little bit of give and take. And you can also say, but I'm not going to allow that as a teacher. I cannot say that out loud as a teacher. Not everybody has the legal version, if you know what I mean. Demi, how was the first day for you, Valeria? In case you don't know a lot of people already. That's a good question.
Personally, because I went to Hoywick, I already had a lot of people I knew the first day the study started. So I really recommend you guys to come to Hoywick. It was really fun, and it's super easy to make friends in such a fun environment. But of course, I was quite scared the first day. But as I said before, everyone is really friendly and welcoming, so I didn't have to worry for long. And the teachers are really fun and also welcoming. So I really felt like in my right place, you know.
Yeah, it's a bit of a pity that you cannot visit our course. We have a really, yeah, there's everybody likes a bit of the same things. Everybody likes movies, games. It's a bit of a, yeah, I think a lot of people are on the same page, even students and teachers amongst each other. They like the same things. So, is having experience in video editing and After Effects something to apply within applying for the study too? Yes, you can edit. You can surely add that to your portfolio. What is the percentage of Dutch students versus foreign students? Don't know the exact numbers. If I had to guess, I would think it's almost 50-50. It's yeah, I think it's 50-50.
50.
Yeah. Thank you. Does my laptop have to be very powerful for the study? Depends a little bit on what you're going to do. If you're going to do work with 3D software a lot, or VR a lot, then of course you need yeah, a more powerful laptop. If you're just going to program, it doesn't matter that much. So yeah, it really depends a little bit on what you want to do, Wouter. So how much weeks do you choose for direction? Well, the first quartile, we work in quartiles. Every year is divided in 4 parts. You get everything. After the first quartile, so it's after 10 weeks, you will make a first choice. So you will get some more artist courses, or some more designer courses, or some more engineering courses. But you can still switch. So, and during the year, you can switch, I think it's 2 times. And after that, you have to make a final choice. Are you going to stay an artist, Valeria?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm really happy with my choice. I already knew from the start. I knew I want to be an artist. So.
Okay, good to know. Well, I think it's almost time. Marianne also added some links that you could check out where you could ask stuff also to students. I think if you really want to ask more, you can check those out. I will add some last minute questions, and then I think we're done for today. Laurie asks, due to the corona crisis, what is the deadline for making an assessment appointment? I don't know the exact deadline, but I would still take the old deadlines as a guideline. So you're sure you're not late. So before the 1st of May, I would apply, and then we will go into the intake procedure. Mireille, I saw on the website that the subject changes in the 2nd year. Is that going to be harder? What do you mean with the subject changes in the 2nd year? Yeah, of course, the 2nd year is of course harder than the 1st year. It's much more in depth. In the 1st year, you get a little bit of everything, and after that, yeah, you will go much more in depth. You will only get artist courses, only get engineering courses. So yeah, of course, yeah, it's going to be harder. We hear that a lot from students, that the 1st year is fun and the 2nd year is also fun, but it's much harder. In the 1st year, you get programming as an artist. In the 2nd year, no. Yeah, that's true. In the 1st year, in the beginning, you will get some artist courses or programming courses as an artist, and in the 2nd year, not. So I hope that answers your question. Is there a hybrid between architects and, yeah, that's called an experience designer. That's actually the hybrid.
Yeah, I agree actually.
Yeah. It's also pretty broad. I think creative technology at the University of Twente is a pretty good master. Of course, it depends a little bit on the tracks that you choose. Some masters also require a little bit of pre-education as a bridge to the master. But like I said, it really depends on the track that you choose. Oh yeah, right, that was in the video, yeah. So last call, are there any extra questions? Thank you too. Yeah, I will answer Lisanne's question, but first I would like to thank you all for watching this online. I hope you got some information out of it. Valeria, thank you a lot for helping potential students out making a choice. It's pretty hard, of course.
Yeah, I'm
Marianne,
happy
thank
to
you for
help.
moderating. Yeah. One last question. Can you say something about the difference between creative technology at UT and CMGT? Yeah, I think the differences between university and applied university. So universiteit and HBO, I think that's the main difference. Creative technology at the UT is more theoretical, and our course is more practical. I think that's the real. So it depends really. Not the one is the other one is better or the one is worse. It's about preference. Are you more of a practical person? Are you more of a theoretical person? Yeah. So thank you a lot, and I hope you can enjoy the weather, and maybe we will see you in September, hopefully in real life, when the situation is getting back to normal again. Thank you.